No, it's not.
Well, I might need to see you.
My swim team in correlation with Ashley. I do a lot of the stuff as well, both behind and on top of the scenes. You'll probably see a lot of me throughout your practices and definitely at the swim meets. Same thing, if there's ever any questions or anything that you guys need issues or have problems with, or are just curious about anything, just don't be afraid to go ahead and talk to either Ashley or I.
All right, and I do have all of my coaches here. I have all my coaches, so I will introduce the coach to you. We'll get Glenn. Glenn, do you want to unmute and talk and introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Glenn Roth. I've been coaching Panthers and now Stingers for a while. I honestly can't remember how many years. I've been coaching high school swimming, the Bonneville High School swim team, for about 5 years. Before that, I swam all the way up from 5th grade, all the way up through high school. I officiate for Snake River Swimming. I've been doing that for quite a few years as well, probably since about 2009 or so. And so I've got a lot of experience with swimming and a fair amount of experience with coaching, and I love doing it. I love helping out the kids and helping them get to know swimming better and have a good time and just get better at the strokes. And I love seeing them improve and in lots of different ways. So it's just great. Anyway, glad to be doing it again this year. And obviously, if you have any questions or anything as the season goes on, feel free to reach out, catch me after practice or at one of the meets or whatever, and I'd be happy to chat with you about it.
All right, let's go ahead and go over to Leilani. Leilani, can you unmute and introduce yourself? Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm Leilani. I've been swimming since I was 8, and I've been doing swim team ever since. For coaching experience, I've started coaching when I was 15 with the junior high. Started out as a volunteer and then started swim lessons when I was 16 and kept my certification since then. And then in college, I've coached the Portneuf swim team, which is a USA team, and learned a lot from that. And so, yeah.
All right, thank you, Leilani. All right, Hannah, do you want to unmute and introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Hannah. I was on the IFHS team this year. I was one of the team captains, so that was pretty cool. I've been coaching just for a little bit. I coached the summer spring league that happened at the aquatic center, and I've been coaching a little bit of preseason. I'm just really excited to be here, and I'm excited to be your coach.
All right, so we're gonna have Coach Valerie. We have Coach Valerie and Coach Abby over there, and they're going to introduce themselves. You have to unmute.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm Valerie. I joined competitive swimming because of my brother, and I've been swimming for 4 years. And this last season, I was a captain, and I'm just really excited to coach your kids.
I'm Coach Abby, and I've been swimming competitively since I was like 8. And I don't know, I haven't done swimming a little bit, it's been a minute, but I'm very excited to get back in it and work with your kids.
I should also just throw in there before we get too much further down the road.
Excellent. I think that's all of our coaches. I didn't miss anybody, right? I got everybody,
Nope.
right?
Yep, you got everybody.
Yes, I got everybody. All right. So what we're going to do today is we are just going to talk about the program. We're going to go over the rules. It's kind of an intensive program. It's a 12-week long program. It's a little bit longer. It has a bunch of rules. And so we just like to take this time to kind of go over all the information. So that way, if you have questions, you understand what you are able to get the most out of the program that you could possibly get out of them. If you have a question about anything, I'm going to stop before we start talking about the swim meets. If you have any questions, please ask at that time. I'll ask you if there's any, but please just write down your questions. Hopefully I'll cover everything that you need anyways. Okay. All right. So the junior high swim team, it's an instructional introductory activity. We provide fun, physical fitness, teamwork, and improvement of self-esteem. I have seen kids that come in that don't like to talk in class and don't like to participate, to see them actually running for student body the next year. So this program I've seen do some amazing things. It's not just all about swimming. Personal improvement is our highest objectives. Every week, you guys are going to get times of your kids when they do those swim meets, and you're going to be able to see how much improvement they're making, and you are going to be surprised. It's great. And I know Glenn is a wonderful coach. He's going to make sure that they're doing the best that they can do to cut down those times. We do all of that through positive encouragement and praise from coaches, family, and teammates. So parents, that means that you have to get involved too. Don't be afraid to sit down and talk to your kids and ask them what they did at swim team practice. Learn the terminology. If they come home and they say, whoa, mom, I did an IM today. You're not like, oh, that's great. I don't know what an IM is. So that way you do know what an IM is, and you can say, well, what was your favorite stroke? Did you like the butterfly? So yeah, don't be afraid to get in there and start talking to them. Okay, practices are twice a week. We will have practices on Mondays and Wednesdays from 8 to 9 p.m. I know it's late, and I'm sorry that it's so late. We just don't have enough pool for everybody to go around. So I know that it's late. Swimmers can show up and check in 15 minutes before their practice. Anytime before that, swimmers will have to wait upstairs. And parents, you're encouraged to pick up your swimmers promptly after practice is finished. That's just so that way we make sure that they're not hanging out here. If parents are gonna be late picking up their kids, please let us know, so that way we know that somebody's at least coming for them. Yeah, so that's that. There will be no practice the week between Christmas and New Year's, which is December 25th through the 1st of January. There will be practices the week before Christmas. So we'll have practices all the way up till December 22nd, regular practices. And normal practices will resume on January 2nd, so right after the new year. Having Christmas on a Sunday kind of threw a kink in everything and made it so it was a little bit tougher for scheduling. So that's what we did, is 1 week on and 1 week off. The weeks of December 19th to the 30th, we have stroke clinics at the Aquatic Center. These stroke clinics are a single stroke centered. So if your kid is having a tough time, let's say with breaststroke, they can come to the breaststroke clinic and just spend an hour and a half working on breaststroke, getting that timing down, getting that technique down. So that way they get better at it, they get more confident with it. They are fantastic stroke clinics. They do not come with your program. They are an additional fee, but they are really great. I have 2 weeks of them, the week before Christmas and the week between Christmas and the New Year's. So I have stroke clinics that go on while you have regular practices. So you can come twice a week or twice a day on some of those days. Like I said, they're an extra charge. If you sign up for all 5 of the stroke clinics, you do get a discount. I'm going to try to get some links in the chat program. If I don't get it in there today, I will send an email out with all the links on there, so that way you can get signed up, but you can sign up for those on our registration page. So our program goals of this program is to become proficient in the freestyle and the backstroke and learn the basics of breaststroke and butterfly. For the advanced swimmers that are already learning the basics, or have already learned the basics of butterfly and backstroke, we will push them and work on more technique with them with that too. We're going to learn how to dive from the blocks and perform backstroke starts. They're going to learn how to do flip turns and open turns, and they're going to learn how to talk swimming, which means all that fun swimming terminology. Swimmers, when they come to practice, they're going to need a swimsuit, they're going to need some goggles, and they're going to need a swim cap. For the swimsuits, girls, I strongly recommend that you get a decent one-piece suit. A suit that you wear over to the beach is just not the best suit to get. A 2-piece suit, definitely not the best thing to get. They tend to come up, and we don't need any wardrobe malfunctions during swim team practice or diving off the blocks. Guys, you can choose, you can get jammers, you can get the board shorts, you can even get Speedos if you want to wear Speedos, but just, yeah, there's no fancy suits required here. It's whatever you're comfortable in. Okay, everybody needs a pair of goggles. If you don't have a good pair of goggles, we've got some here at the Aquatic Center that you can buy, but you definitely need a good pair of goggles for this program. And then swim caps. So a swim cap comes with your program registration fee. You will get that on Monday when you guys come to practice. I strongly recommend not using that swim cap other than for swim meets. They're required at swim meets, and if you're going to use a swim cap, they're required. Those ones are required at the swim meets. For practice, I would recommend getting a different cap, just so that way if it does get worn out or if it does break, you're not breaking your team program, your program cap. But you'll get one of those. Girls, I strongly recommend if you wear them, especially if you have any type of hair. Shorter hair usually works out okay, but longer hair, anything about shoulder length, no matter what you do to your hair, it just gets in your face. So I recommend all girls wear them. Any boys with longer hair, I recommend you wear them. If you have shorter hair, that's up to you if you want to wear them or not. Okay. You also will get a team shirt with this program. We have not ordered them yet. We are waiting, hopefully to get a few more people, especially on this team. So we will get those ordered probably next week. It'll probably be January when we get those in. And once we get those in, we will pass those out. And also all of our important information is sent out through email and text messages. If you did not get an email about this tonight, or if you did not get a text message about this tonight and you want to be signed up for one or the other, let us know, because communication, I think, is really important with something like this, with a program like this. And we want to make sure we are contacting you in the best way possible. Okay. And like I said, I sent an email out, I think it was on Saturday, and the text message went out this afternoon. Okay. So just make sure you get those. One other good thing about being in this program is you kind of get a perk. Any junior high swim participant could come into our public swim or lap swim at a discounted price of $3 a person. This price will extend to whoever is with that swimmer at that time. So you guys can come in, you could bring your entire family, you could bring friends, come in and go to public swim instead of paying the $4.50 or the $5.50. You get in for free. So it's kind of a perk for being on the swim team. All right, and then I've got to say that we do not allow any type of bullying in this program. Those that bully others in any way will be removed from the program. Usually we don't have very many problems with this, but we like to make sure that we stop it before it starts. So if your swimmer is not having a good time, if they feel uncomfortable or anything else, please let us know. You can email us, you can call us, you can talk to us. Usually Cord will probably be here most nights. You can talk to him. You can talk to your head coach. If your kid's just not having a good time in practice, let us know. So that way we can take care of it, because we want them to have a good time while we're here. All right. Swimmers must swim and compete with the team that they're registered for. You guys are all, I'm assuming you're all registered for the Stingers team, and which means that you should be in the Stingers boundaries. If you are not in the Stingers boundaries, but still swimming for Stingers, you cannot make records for the program other than league records. And Cord will talk a little bit about that a little bit later. But we do it that way because it becomes more of a team sport, and you get some team spirit, and it makes the program just a little bit better when you've got kids that are cheering for a united cause. Swimming does tend to come off as an individual sport, but it is a little bit of a team sport as well. So we ask that you come to as many team practices as you can. If you do miss a team practice, you are welcome to make it up at another practice. But we like you to practice. Your coach likes you to practice with your team. Okay. One of the stipulations of this program is we have a big championship swim meet at the end of the season. It's called the Luptak Junior High Championship Swim Meet. One of the stipulations to competing in that swim meet is that you have to come to 10 team practices with your team. Okay. Like I said, we want you to come to your regular team practices as is. I understand it's 8 to 9 at night. It's a little bit later for some of us. If we have to go to other team practices, that's okay. Just make sure you spend 10 of them with the Stingers. Okay. And when you come in, make sure you are checking in. Maybe on Monday, when you guys come in, you're going to get a cute little check-in card, and you'll use that to check in for every practice. That's what tracks our attendance. So just make sure you are getting checked in, because that's how we track your attendance and make sure that you can go to that swim meet at the very end. Okay. Oh, obviously I got mixed up on my papers. If you do end up forgetting your card or you lose that card, please talk to the front desk staff. Don't just say, oh, I forgot mine, I'm just gonna sneak in. We'll be happy. Let's get it replaced. Let's get it taken care of. So make sure you do that. You get 21 practices with this program. You can use them however you like. Let's say that you miss a practice. Like I said earlier, you can make it up with another team. You can also make it up during public swim or lap swim. I just can't guarantee that there'll be any coaches, or there will not be any coaches at public or lap swim. So it's always best to come with another team. You get swimmers that make you work hard, and your coaches that are making sure that you're training the way that you should be. Okay. Yeah, let's talk about sweatshirts. I didn't pull those up either. So sweatshirts, you want to find them for me? Sweatshirts. So how it works is when you register for the program, you get a team shirt, and those team shirts are like they're a program shirt. So they all say, for every single team, they all say the same thing. They just have different colors. If you want to get a little bit more team spirited, you can get the sweatshirts, and they are custom to your team. And I think I kind of like yours a lot. So Cord's going to throw that up on the screen. All right, that is what your sweatshirts will look like this year. I think they're pretty decent sweatshirts. They're a little bit different. The sweatshirts are $35, and you can order them online. Again, I'll try to get those links in the chat for you here in a little bit. They have to be ordered by December 1st because we're trying to get them back for Christmas. So that way on there. And then parents, if you're ordering them for Christmas, you can put it in the thing saying, yes, they're for Christmas. Don't tell my kid that you got it. So yeah, that is our sweatshirts. All right. We're going to go on to swim meet information here in just a second. Cord's going to give you all that information. But right now, is there any questions that anybody has up until this point? I see no unmuting. Oh, we can't do that stuff. Yes, we will. Yes, we will need those. Cord's going to talk about the judges. So our officials, we will talk about those in just 1 minute. Any other questions? You can unmute yourself, or you can post it into the chat. Either way, just shout out if you have any questions. Okay. How can you get registered for the Texan? You can get registered for the Texan. Why don't you send me an email at juniorhighswimteam@idahofalls.gov. I'll put that in the chat here in just a minute, and put your name, your team, and your text number, and we'll get you registered for it. Okay, if you did not get the text messages. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Cord, and he will go over swim meet information for it with you guys. Oh, I'll move you over here. Woo.
Hey guys, all right. So let's talk about swim meets. I think swim meets are one of the most fun parts about being on the junior high swim team, or really any of the swim teams that we offer, period. Swim meets are how you come, you show off what you're doing, you get together with all your friends, you have a great time. To me, it's that fulfilling part of spending hours upon hours upon hours in the water, just swimming back and forth. Okay. So all of our swim meets are going to be held here at the Wesley East Aquatic Center. And with the exception of the Luptac Junior High Championship swim meet, every single one will be on Saturday mornings. If you've looked at your calendar that you got with the email on Saturday, you should have a calendar on there of all of your swim meets, the times, the dates, and who you're swimming against on that calendar. Yes, some of them are at 6 in the morning. That's really early, but with 6 teams running and our programs that are still running at the Aquatic Center, having all 6 teams run a meet and needing to be done before 2 o'clock necessitates waking up early this year for some of the teams. If you notice, you should only have 1 or 2 meets at that 6 a.m. time. We did try to spread it out between all of the teams. Each week until that final meet, you will be having dual swim meets. That's your team against one other team, where you'll be squaring off against each other and going for the best times and best races you can until that junior high championship meet, where all 6 teams will swim against all 6 teams at the same time. It's pretty crazy and hectic, but a lot of fun. Okay. Going along with this and with that email, you should have gotten an instructional how-to page, both with your registration receipt as well as the email that went out on Saturday of how to create a Team Unify account. Now, if you've done any of our swim team programs before here at the Aquatic Center, you have probably already done this for your swimmer. You don't need to do it if your swimmer already has one. Okay, you only need to do it if you've never created a Team Unify account before. But it is a requirement to swim in those swim meets. It's how we process all of our meet information. It's how we get everybody into the system. It's a free program. It takes about 5 minutes to set up an account, but we do need it done as soon as possible so that we can get all of the swimmers able to sign up for meets if they want to. I'll give you guys probably until about Christmas before I really start hounding you with texts and emails every day to make sure that you get that account set up. So if you just go and get it set up as soon as possible, then you shouldn't have to worry about that. There's links in the chat as well that Ashley just sent off to you about the On Deck mobile app. This is the exact same thing. It uses your same login credentials. The nice thing about the mobile app is that it's Team Unify built for a mobile device. So you can look at all of your swimmers' information, their times and results for each of their meets and everything they've ever done through our programs on your phone without the need to use a web browser on your phone. Using web browsers gets really kind of annoying on a mobile device. So the On Deck app you don't need it, but we do highly recommend it if you're planning on using your mobile devices quite a bit for that. Okay. We do also need quite a few parent volunteers to help out with things. There's a lot of manpower that goes into running swim meets. They take a lot of moving hands and a lot of moving parts. And we have 2 different volunteer positions that we need your guys' help on as well to make sure our meets run. We need timers at every single meet. There's no sign up for timers. You can just show up, and if I've got empty timer chairs, you're more than welcome to go ahead and go and take one of those chairs. Even if you don't know how to do it, it's really, really easy. We'll train you on the spot how to do it. And it's one of the best spots that you can have for watching your kids swim. You're right down there, right next to the action, seeing all of those finishes up and close. The other ones that we need are officials as well. For those who are more familiar with the swim meet world, the strokes and turns and the finish judges and the starting judges and all of that, we kind of group all into one single official. We're not too over the top with our DQ system in junior high, but we do like to run at least 2 officials for every swim meet to help keep an eye on the kids, make sure they're all swimming the way that they should properly be swimming. Officiating is not too hard either, but we do need officials. We'd like at least 2 from every team so that not everybody has to be to every single meet. There's opportunities to swap in and off, but obviously the more officials we have, the easier it is to go ahead and swap in and out. So if you're not going to be here for some meets, then it's easier to go ahead and replace you and find somebody else who will. Both of those positions, both the officials and the timers, they really are the best seat to go ahead and watch your kids from. So if you're going to be here anyway, I highly recommend you do it and you help us out. If you're interested in being an official for us, just go ahead and let us know at that email link that Ashley's put in the chat for the junior high swim team at idahofalls.gov. And we'll go ahead and we'll get you set up and ready to go for that. Okay. Some rules as well as far as the swim meet goes. Your coaches are going to handle most of this, so I'm not going to go through too many of these rules as far as the meets go. I'm just going to go through a couple of the ones that I think are important for you guys to know and to understand, just because things work a little bit differently. So there is a maximum of 4 events that your swimmer can swim every swim meet in this program. So they can swim up to 4. It doesn't necessarily mean they'll be in 4. It depends on the breakdown of your swimmers, how many 5th and 6th graders you have versus 7th and 8th graders, boys, girls, and so on and so forth. Because there's a maximum of 4 swimmers from each team allowed in every event. So you can generally expect to look for about 3 or 4 events every week at a swim meet. Glenn's really good about making sure that you're getting as much swim time as possible, but just so you're aware, there is a maximum amount of events you can swim, and it will be up to a maximum of 3 individual events and a maximum of 3 relay events for a maximum total of 4 overall. So however that ends up running, if you have 3 individuals and 1 relay, you still get your 4. Okay. As far as diving off of the blocks go, only those that are dive certified are allowed to use the blocks during the meets. We track that for safety reasons. You're diving into shallow water. We want to make sure nobody's accidentally hurting themselves when they're diving in for these meets. Again, this is a fun program, and most people don't find pain enjoyable, so we try to avoid that. We do our best to try to ensure that everybody is at that point, or at least very close to that point, by the first swim meet of the year. There are dive clinics that are included with the program that we go ahead and offer throughout the month of December, as well as one team practice on Saturday, December 17th this year, that will be specifically for your swimmers to dive as well. Okay, we go ahead and the coaches will work with each of the swimmers, and they'll certify the swimmers when they're comfortable knowing that they can go off of the blocks without hurting themselves. Okay, and that's really what we're looking for. Again, by that first meet, most, if not all, of the swimmers on every team should be certified enough to go off of the blocks. And we encourage them to go off of the blocks as well. While they're welcome to start from the side of the pool if they want, there's a huge advantage that's gained as far as speed and power that comes from going off of those blocks, and we'd like everybody to be on as equal footing as possible. For the swim caps, I know Ashley's already talked about swim caps a little bit, but if you decide to wear a swim cap during a swim meet, it does have to be your team's cap, or it has to be a blank cap without any other logos or markings of any other teams on it. That's so that we can go ahead and help kind of keep track of who's going where. So make sure that if you're using those caps, that they are specifically for your team, if at all possible. Okay. One other thing with the championship meet. So Ashley mentioned that there was one there was one requirement of your 10 team practices. There is another requirement as well, and that is that you essentially have to attend at least one other swim meet throughout the year. In order to swim in that championship meet as well, you also have to have a seed time from this current year at one of the swim meets in order to swim there. That basically means come swim at least a freestyle event, and you can swim at champs as well. But only events that you have seed times for will you be able to swim at champs. So the more times you come to a meet, the more events you'll have to choose from at championships. That championship swim meet as well, it is 2 days long. We've got a 300 swimmer program. They all of those swimmers have parents and family members who want to come watch. That puts a lot of people in the building very, very quickly. And so this year, because we've got 6 teams and those 300 swimmers, we have split the 5th and 6th graders and the 7th and 8th graders for championships, and it's going to run across 2 days now. So Friday, February 10th will be the 5th and 6th graders. They'll swim in the evening. 7th and 8th graders will swim in the morning of the 11th on that Saturday. Every junior high swimmer will receive 2 tickets to this event as well, because of how many people come to junior high champs. We have to ticket it to make sure that we stay within fire code regulations for the number of participants and people that are in the building. So every swimmer gets 2 tickets just for being on the team. If you need additional tickets, you can request them from the links that we just put into the chat. There will be more information sent out about that as well as we get closer to it. It's still a few months away, but just to kind of get you thinking now of, hey, I've got 7 family members who want to come and watch and support the kids. There's a way to go ahead and do that through requesting additional tickets. We can usually get enough tickets for everybody that wants to come and observe, but we have to know who needs the tickets and where they need to go to make sure that we stay within those regulations. The final thing I want to talk about as far as swim meets go is we will be disqualifying swimmers for stroke infractions beginning from meet 1. Okay. Please go ahead and talk to your swimmers and use your DQs for exactly what they're meant to be. And that is a teaching opportunity. Nobody likes to be DQ'd, but most people generally, they get a DQ and then they don't make the same mistake again. And that's what they're there for, is they are a learning opportunity and an opportunity for your swimmer to learn and grow and become a better swimmer. If at any time you have a question on why exactly a DQ is the way it is, or you don't understand it, like, hey, what does this 2-hand touch thing mean? Feel free to talk to us or talk to your coaches and they can explain it to you as well. A list of all of those DQs will also be sent in that email packet that was sent to you on Saturday.
Hey, Cord.
All right, that was lots of information, Cord. Thank you so much. Does anybody have any questions on swim meets or anything else in the program?
Hey, Ashley. Ashley. Can't hear me.
I know we don't have a lot of people on here, so if you have any questions, you just holler. So practices, they'll start on Monday. We have Thanksgiving and we'll stuff ourselves full of turkey and then we'll come and swim it off on Monday. And we start practices Mondays and Wednesdays at 8 o'clock. And that will go for 11 weeks. We end up in February 11th is when we end that. So, and it's not, we don't stop. We just kind of keep going. I hope that your kids are super excited for it. Glenn, do you have anything else you would like to add to this?
Sure. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, yes.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Okay. All right. Yeah, I just wanted to touch a little bit on something that Cord said. One of the things that I do try to do is get everybody to be able to swim every race. That's one of my goals. I want to get everybody to that point. I know that, especially in the junior high program, that's not always possible, but that's something that I try to do. So I'm really hoping that, everybody does get the chance to come to all the meets, because that gives me a lot more opportunities to try and put them in different races and give them different chances to swim. And then by the time we do get to that championship meet, it just opens up more possibilities for races that they can swim in. I'm certainly willing to take suggestions on things that the kids really like to swim. If they let me know, I can try to put them in those a little more often. But again, like I said, I try to get everybody in everything. So, some of the other coaches, I've actually coached most of the other coaches on one team or another at one point or another. So they can tell you how it usually works, but a lot of the time I just say, well, they're doing pretty well in breaststroke in practices, so we'll put them in the breaststroke race this week. And maybe you hate breaststroke, so maybe that's the only time I make you do it. But I do want to get everybody swimming as much as possible, every single race, during the season. So really excited to be able to do that, and looking forward to it. So yeah, that's all I had. So.
Okay, well, that's super good. This team has probably the least amount of registration so far. I think we've got 21 people on this team out of 50. So this is a smaller team. So hopefully everybody will be able to get into every event that they want to. And hopefully Glenn can work it out. So I'm sure that you'll be able to get into the events. But if your friends haven't signed up yet, or you've got something, then somebody that wants to join, have them come and join, because there's still room left. And it's a lot more fun with a few more people. So, I mean, it's fun with this many people too. You guys are going to get a lot more lane space than all the other teams, which will be a little bit nicer. You'll have a little bit less crowded practices, but you know, the more team members that you get, the better you do at those swim meets. So, or your points add up faster at the swim meets. So you're going to do great at the swim meets regardless. So yeah, we'd like to see a few more people come out and register. Does anybody have any questions? Last time for questions. Like I said, you can send them on chat or unmute yourself. Okay, well, we will let you have your evening, and thank you guys so much for joining us. We will see you guys on Monday. Thank you all.